Hello, everybody on YouTube and all the NBA fans out there and basketball fans too. This is Andrew Warren back here once again, giving you my thoughts for the conference semifinals for the 2021 NBA playoffs. Check it out. First off, let me apologize for not doing the first round in the walk-in play for the NBA playoffs because I never able to have time and it was a little confusion going on for that new playoff format and stuff like that. So, anyway, I want to apologize for that. I would normally do it, but I just didn't able to have time. But, hey, I got time now. So, here we go. So, anyways, in the conference semifinals, we got, from the Eastern Conference, we got the Eastern Conference number 1 Philadelphia Sixers taking on the Atlanta Hawks for number 5 seed, and number 3 Milwaukee Bucks taking on the number 2 Brooklyn Nets. And for the West side, number 1 Utah Jazz taking on the number 4 LA Clippers. And for the number 3 Denver Nuggets taking on one of their rivals, the Phoenix Suns. Ironically, the one who's been there won the NBA Finals the shortest time was the 1983 with the Philadelphia Sixers. And not only that, ironically, the longest playoff droughts are in the conference semifinals right now, including Utah, the Clippers, Denver, and Phoenix. Never won the NBA Finals. And ironically, Phoenix and the Utah Jazz are the only ones in the West who ever reached the NBA Finals. Other than that, Denver and the Clippers have not. Ironic, huh? So, anyways, Milwaukee, last time they won it, 71. Brooklyn, they went to the NBA Finals in 02 and 03, never won it. So, in Atlanta, they haven't won since 1958. That's pretty ironic. So, one of the longest tenures are in the conference semifinals right now, which is pretty interesting right now, to say the least. But anyways, nevertheless, though, we got the Phoenix eliminating the Sixers in that one. That's how they got in. We got Denver eliminating Portland, which we're going to find out about the Kawhi Leonard situation and Portland's new head coach. They just got fired recently. Utah beat Memphis to go in there, and Brooklyn beat my Celtics, which I'm not too happy about. So we all knew that was coming. But Danny Ainge is retired, and Brad Stevens is moving upstairs, so we're going to get a new head coach. So, in Milwaukee beat Miami, Milwaukee beat the Eastern Conference champions, and Atlanta beat the New York Knicks, and the Philadelphia Sixers beat the Washington Wizards. So, ironically. So, the Phoenix Suns eliminated the NBA champs, the Lakers. And that's just fun fact. LeBron James, first time he has been eliminated in the first round. So, and ironically, all the teams that in that Laker roster last year, Danny Green, who's in the Sixers, Dwight Howard in the Sixers, JaVale McGee with Denver, and Rajon Rondo with the LA Clippers, all 5 of these players were on the Lakers last year, and they're all in the next round. So, really interesting choice on that. So, anyways, that being said, let's go kick things off in the Western Conference because that's the only one that hasn't been started yet. But I think Utah and the LA Clippers start tonight, so I think that's going to be a good one right there. So, anyways, going to that game, I think that series is going to be a back and forth series. I think this is a battle between the two teams that really want it the most. I can definitely see a Game 7 series in this one. This isn't going to go down to the home court advantage. I think that's going to be from Utah on that point not only with Utah, with hold on. Mike Conley was named the All-Star. Mike Conley was going to be in from there because he replaced Phoenix Suns' Devin Booker, which Devin Booker will be in. We'll be talking about in a bit. And don't forget for the Jazz. Hold on. Excuse me. The only clunker in this one for the Utah Jazz, Donovan Mitchell. So he's one of their best players right now. Now he's on injured. I think he's done for the year, if I'm not mistaken. Well, they got don't get me wrong. They got Rudy Gobert in there, which is okay. All that etc. going on. But losing Donovan Mitchell, that's a big blow for the Utah Jazz on this one. So I think he's one of their best player right now. So I think in this case scenario, I think this is going to be really difficult for the Utah Jazz to come out on their top without their top player right now. So I think with Paul George and Kawhi Leonard in there with with the LA Clippers. I think they're going to definitely take advantage of that injury prone for the Utah Jazz. So I think this is definitely going to be a cornerstone. And don't get me wrong with Mike Conley and Jordan Clarkson and everyone else. They're all great players and all, but the main key was Donovan Mitchell. And we got Joe Aguilas too, if I remember him too. So not for nothing, but it's a really tough piece to swallow. And don't forget Rudy Gobert too. So he's really good. So on there, they still got Rudy Gobert, but without Donovan Mitchell, I don't know if the Utah Jazz are not going to stand a chance in this one. So in this one, I think they're going to keep it close, but I think it's going to be a 7-game series, and I think I'm going to pick an upset with this one. I'm going to take the Kawhi Leonard and Paul George over the LA Clippers to win this series. And don't get me wrong, though, I'm going to predict this one for the Utah Jazz. Quinn Snyder, I think he's going to definitely get Coach of the Year. I think he's going to get that. So that's the only thing they're going to get, but I think they're not going to make it up without Donovan Mitchell. So don't get me wrong, Tyronn Lue has been doing a hell of a job for the LA Clippers. I think I think the Clippers are finally going to go over the hump to the Western Conference Finals. A new LA team is going to make it over the hump instead of the LA Lakers, which is going to be the Clippers. So I think that's the way it's going to go. I see that's going to be a 7-game series, but it's going to come to that clunker from an injury from the Utah Jazz. I think that's why I'm going to pick the LA Clippers to win that game series. All right, Denver and Phoenix. Like I mentioned, JaVale McGee, he's doing a hell of a job in Denver. I know he's every champion he goes, he won. He was with the Cleveland Cavaliers, I believe in Golden State. I'm sorry, Golden State in back-to-back years, and now he went to for the Lakers in 2020, and he won the championship over there. And now he goes to Denver. So I think everywhere JaVale McGee goes, he goes on a winning team. So I think it's something about one of those things and those conjunctions and stuff like that for him. Don't get me wrong, great player though, great team player all around, et cetera, and stuff like that. So he's been with the Denver Nuggets in the past and then came back. So don't get me wrong, and then Nikola Jokic, he's doing really good over there, So he's been doing really good, and et cetera and stuff like that. He's doing really good. I think for my case scenario for Denver, if Michael Malone can get him over the hump for the head coaching position, he's doing a really great job. He had a tough time going into with the Sacramento Kings, and all of a sudden he goes to Denver and he makes them a winning team. So he turned that organization around. I give credit for that. So, not for nothing, but I think he's going to be really good in that one. I think he's going to be the perfect fit for Denver, consider what he did for with Sacramento. Sacramento's not really a great team anyway, so not his fault. Didn't really have the best in the roster in there, but but hey, I think nevertheless, I think Marcus Howard is going to definitely step up to the plate, and think Shaquille Harrison's definitely going to step up to the hand on that one in there. So, hey, we'll see how it goes. But anyways, for this series, I think this is going to be a very close series in this one. But Devin Booker, don't get me wrong, Devin Booker's been doing pretty well for Phoenix. So I think for this case scenario, for them, not only just Devin Booker, I'm definitely going to say Craig Chowder is definitely going to be a help out too and all that. So, in every way. So, and don't forget DeAndre Ayton. He's going to be there as well. So everything else going on and stuff like that. So I see that going to be a 7-game series as well in this one. And I'm definitely going to say the Denver Nuggets are going to take this one out. So actually, no, I take that back. I'm actually going to take Phoenix in that one, which I think they won that first series. But I think Phoenix is definitely going to be a good one. I think Monty Williams is definitely going to be the out coaching Michael Malone in that one. So I definitely going to say Phoenix is going to win that one out. So they're going to go to the Western Conference Finals, I believe, for the first time since 93. 2005. I'm sorry. 2005 or 7, I think. Around that. Late 2000. Mid-2000s or late 2000s, they're going to go in there for the first time in there. So it's a wide open area that LeBron James is out. So I'm going to say that. So I'm going to take Phoenix, going to the Western Conference, Western Conference Finals for the first time since 2005 or 7. and around that mid frame. I'm gonna say that. And the LA Clippers are gonna go to the Western Conference Finals for the first time ever. So I think that's the way it's gonna go on that one. So, anyways, that being said, let's go to the Eastern Conference Finals. Hey, Atlanta take a 1-0 series lead. I think Philadelphia is gonna bounce back. Don't get me wrong about Atlanta though. Atlanta went through a lot to get what they are now. They had Lloyd Pierce. They fired him. All of a sudden, they bring in Nate McMillan as an intern coach, and all of a sudden, they're a playoff team. So, if I were the Atlanta Hawks, I would definitely consider having Nate McMillan to be the head coach. I really think he should be the guy in there because I think he helped motivated the team though. And they went from, I believe, from 14-20 start to a 41-31 playoff contender. So really good for Atlanta. It's like a miracle thing they did. So, I mean, I think if Atlanta wants to win this one out, they have to beat out Ben Simmons. Ooh. And not only that, they got to go through Danny Green and Dwight Howard in that one. So and Ben Simmons, that's going to be really tough for Atlanta to swallow. They got lucky to win the first game. But if they continue what they can do in game one, they could definitely win this series out. But for this case scenario, I really don't think it was going to happen. I really think Philadelphia is going to take this one. So I'm going to take Philadelphia over Atlanta in this series, 4-2 on that one. And they're going to go to the Eastern Conference Finals for the first time since 2001. And for the Milwaukee Bucks and the Brooklyn Nets. All right, I'm going to say this. Brooklyn, they're 2-0. I hate to do that. Especially I hate Brooklyn. I hate the Nets. Don't get me wrong. Don't like Kawhi Leonard after what he did in Boston. With my case scenario for that fan for the Celtics, I think he got what he deserved. For throwing a water bottle at Kyrie. I mean, personally, I would never throw a water bottle. It's not really me. I would just let it go and moved on if he did the thing on press his foot unlucky. I mean, it's not like, whatever. I mean, I personally wouldn't have done that. But anyways, that being said, James Harden's hurt, which is definitely not going to affect them, I think. But definitely, Steve Nash is going to definitely outcoach Milwaukee. Milwaukee has a thing for choking the most with Giannis Antetokounmpo in there and Chris Middleton. So I think the case scenario in this one, I think the next firing is going to go is Mike Buzzentower. I think he's going to go. If he doesn't really make it out in the second round, he's gone. So I think he's going to be the next one to go. So even though he was assistant coach for Phoenix, I believe, and for San Antonio for the last few years, I don't think Mike Buzzentower is going to handle this pretty well. He was under Greg Popovich for the longest time, but if he doesn't get over the hump for Milwaukee, go to the conference semifinals, I think he's done. So, anyways, I think that's going to be the case for Brooklyn. I think Brooklyn's going to win this one out. I can see this being a 4-1 series. So I think Brooklyn is going to go to the Eastern Conference Finals for the first time since 2003, I think. So I think that's going to be what's going to happen. So Brooklyn, like I said, Philadelphia and Brooklyn in the Eastern Conference Finals, and the LA Clippers and the Phoenix Suns are going to be in the Western Conference Finals. That's going to wrap up my second round for the 2021 NBA Finals, NBA playoffs. So definitely let me know if you like them. So I'm definitely going to be back for the Eastern, do some hockey, NHL pick, Stanley Cup playoff predictions when the conference finals are set. So that's coming up. So, and they also for the conference finals for the NBA going to be coming up too after this series. So anyways, that being said, hope you enjoyed it. And until then, I'll see you guys soon.